Hey folks, thanks for stopping by Iron Spring Outdoors. Today I wanted to discuss blind bags, specifically the one that I have and kind of what I keep inside of it. So you hear somebody in the background, that would be my dog Jax. I think he's going to sit down now. But so I've had a couple different blind bags in the past. This is the one I've liked the best so far. It's the Avery Blind Bag 2.0, I believe, floating blind bag. And I can tell you, it does float even with all your stuff inside of it, shotgun shells and all. So I wanted to kind of tell you what I like about it. One thing that I don't like about it, but it's not really a deal breaker for me, and then kind of what I keep inside of it. So one of the biggest things that I liked about this blind bag was, one, it was floating. Two, its size. It's kind of like in the in-between range. It's not as big as some of the bigger blind bags, but it's bigger than some of the smaller blind bags. So I'm able to put more stuff in it without it taking up so much space in the boat or having to lug it around. But one of the best features that I like about it was, at the time when I bought this one, I had a Northern Flights blind bag, and the carrying strap attached directly to the flap. So it was like all the weight of the bag was being carried by the flap and the buckles. And I was like, man, that's just something waiting to happen. Buckle breaks, blind bag flips over, dumps in water or whatever. And that was one of the things I liked about the Avery, is that the carrying handle, because I don't use the strap. I've got like a satchel if I'm wading in the swamp and need to carry stuff with me. But this one actually attaches to the body of the bag itself. So, and then it having this flap, I like that a little better, because I felt like it would give me more protection if I was caught in a rain shower. The one thing I don't like about it, that if I could add to it I would be a cup holder. It would be nice if it's somewhere on the back here, if it had a smaller, like where I could put like a 20-ounce tumbler or something like that, just to carry, whether it be water, or if you like coffee or hot chocolate or whatever, like to keep you warm just while you're waiting on the ducks to fly. But now we will get into what I keep in my bag. So this blind bag has 2 pockets on each end of it, and I keep stuff inside of them. So in this end, I keep like a little survival bag, I guess you would say. This was given to me by my sister a couple years ago, but it's got like an aluminum blanket, and then if you open it up inside, if I can, it's pretty stiff. In this like waterproof container, it carries inside of it. Oh, I ain't gonna be able to get it open. Oh, there's more latches. Now I can get it open. Inside of it is a ferro rod, some paracord, a little flashlight, which probably doesn't work. Nope, gotta fix that. A compass, and a couple little odds and ends. A little, like a saw chain. This is just something she gave me to kind of keep with me whenever I'm out, especially near like big water, like bays and the oceans and stuff like that. In case something does happen, I can kind of get somewhere, maybe get some bearings about me if it's where I can make it home, but if not, then at least maybe stay warm. In this other pouch over here, I carry a fire starter. Keep looking at my watch, make sure I keep this stuff in view. So in here, I also keep another ferro rod, and then also these weatherproof fire starting tenders. This stuff here may be a little bit overkill in your opinion, but most of the time I'm in a swamp where I can get to dry land, or I'm by a river, or there's an oyster bed, you know, with trees and grass and stuff in it, that if something was to ever happen and I can get to shore, I can start a fire and I can stay warm. Staying warm when it's 30 degrees outside and you're wet is a huge deal. I would say that would probably kill you faster than being stuck out there for a day or two. All right, that handles that. There is another pouch on the back of this blind bag. I don't use it. It's pretty thin. Maybe something just to stick, I don't know, some paperwork or something in, if that's where you wanted to keep like your licenses and stuff easy to get to. I don't really keep anything in it. So now I'll open it up. So there's 2 latches on the front and it velcros shut. So when we open it up, you'll see in this bag there's 2 zipper pouches, mesh. You can put stuff in to keep there. I don't really keep anything here, as you can see. The next thing would be to actually open the blind up itself. You would flip this flap up, which velcros shut, pull the string, and then you have your 2 zippers. Bam, you're inside of it. So in here is where I keep most of my stuff, including gloves, a toboggan or a beanie. This is a wool like neck gaiter / face mask. It's pretty warm actually. And the thing about with wool too, if you're tuning in, if wool gets wet, it'll still keep you warm. That's a good thing about wool. A headlamp, which this one is charged. Apparently another toboggan, camouflage one. A camouflage face mask with a liner. Another camouflage face mask, but this one is not insulated on those warmer days. A neoprene shell holder, which could come in handy too, like if I'm having to get out the boat to wade in the swamp, or to get somewhere with these 2 latches. The waders I wear have 2 D-rings at the chest, so I can snap it at the top, and then I've got my shells quickly that I can get to, and also keeps them out of the water. And then the last thing would be a carrier for my ducks. On that side of it. On this other side of it, I've got a mount. If you've been tuning into my videos, I've been doing my video recording, which I'm doing now on my cell phone. I don't have a GoPro or anything like that yet. So that's the mount to clamp it to the blind when I'm in the boat. I also have another clamp. This one here has got a magnet on it, which lets me, I can clamp this to the blind on the boat and then let the shotgun rest up, and the magnet holds it up, keep it from falling over, and also taking up more space in the boat. Next thing would be, I've got a wax canvas bag. Inside of this bag, that way I can keep it dry for the most part in the rain, is hearing protection. These are really nice if you don't have any hearing protection, especially if you got more than one person in the blind. They work just like you would think your battery powered hearing protection would be. It's got a microphone made into it, so if somebody's talking to you or if you're trying to listen for birds, you can still hear them. But when it gets over, I think 30 decibels, it cuts that sound out, so it turns the microphone off, and then that allows the hearing protection feature so far as the styrofoam that goes in your ear to do its job to keep your hearing safe. So I keep that in there. Next thing would be a knife. I keep this, I think it's a case. Yes, a case 3376Q, which I think is actually like a surplus army knife from World War II. I keep it just for generic reasons. If I need to cut a rope, if I do need it for splitting wood or anything like that, you can see it's got a pretty thick spline on it. Good handle, a good blade length, and also it's got a really thick knurled pommel. I can hammer something in if I need to. And then on my sheath, I keep a sharpening stone in case I need to sharpen a knife. Keep it together. All right. Last but not least in the bag is my shotgun shells. You'll see this bag here says Boss. I'll talk about them in just a minute, but I like their bags. Keeps the shells pretty dry if I get caught in the rain, and then just seems to be more durable than the cardboard box, and then also a little bit less cumbersome than the neoprene like shell boxes that I've had in the past. All right, that's everything in my blind bag. And the last feature I would say of the bag is this plastic bag with a zipper inside of it. You can hear I got some loose change in there, and that's also where I keep my wallet, an extra wallet with my hunting license and any other paperwork I think I might need. Gas station rewards card, things like that I might use. All right, and that is everything. Plus, there's another Velcro pouch in the front of this bag, and there's 3, I guess, choke holders or shell holders if you want to put shotgun shells there. I don't really use it. I mostly just use the 2 pouches on the end of this bag, and then the empty area inside of it. I can tell you this bag will float, and it will float with all your stuff in it. I was hunting with my brother-in-law a couple years back, and his boat actually capsized, and everything so far as when the boat flipped over, everything floated, which of course kept it inside of the boat. So when we were able to flip the boat back over, everything was still there. It didn't sink to the bottom of the river. Well, that's pretty much it for the blind bag. And I guess while we're right here, and I said I would talk about it, the next thing would be is these Boss shells. This is actually in my blind bag because in the last hunt I went on, if you see the video of it, I was actually hunting with my 1956 Sportsman 58. And that's really where I started buying the Boss shells. I had heard of bismuth before, tungsten and things of that nature, but hadn't really looked into it. It was expensive, and the guns I had, I didn't really need it. But I ended up picking up a 1953 Browning Auto 5, and when I picked that up, it's not steel shot safe. I've been told by many people that I could shoot the steel shot through it, but I didn't want to ruin the gun. And then that's whenever I really looked at the Boss shells. I ran across the Boss shells, and they were more affordable than other competitors. And then it allowed me to shoot my vintage shotgun, which at the time was a 1953 Browning Auto 5. Today, I only have 2 vintage shotguns, the Sportsman 58, and then I've also got a 1940 Winchester Model 12 Heavy Duck that I'll feature it on a video if y'all want to see it. But that's really where I got into the ball shells. I like their bags. I have a couple extra of their bags that I keep other shells in, but when I weren't really looking for bigger payload or bismuth shells or or this or that, whenever I started buying the balls, I was looking for a shell that was safe to shoot through my vintage shotguns. And then also too, it kind of doubles up in a way because of the weight of bismuth. It ensures that, for instance, the Sportsman 58 I've read online that some people had issues with the reliability of it, and they pretty much narrowed it down to that their loads were too light. So these ball shells here, 2 3/4 inch, number 4s are 1 1/4 ounce. I think steel shot normally runs about 1 1/8 ounce on number 4s, but really 1 1/4 ounce number 4s is what these shotguns are really factored in to shoot, if that makes sense. Now there was heavier loads. I don't know if you've seen this box here beside me, this Winchester Super X, but this box is a 3-inch shell length, number 4s, which is 1 ounce and 1 7/8 ounce. So you talk about a heavy payload, and lead shot just being as dense as what it is, they say, for instance, a gas operated shotgun like the Sportsman 58 wouldn't require as much gas to operate the action because it had a heavier payload to cycle the action, where some people were running less weight. They were running into that they didn't have enough gas to operate the action. Now I haven't run into that yet, but of course I've been shooting the number 4 1 1/4 ounce heavy loads, or high powered shells, and then the Sportsman 58 I've run it through also with the low powered Remington number 8 1 1/8 ounce, and didn't have any issues on the low powered setting with the Sportsman 58. So, but if you've got a semi-automatic shotgun, a vintage semi-automatic shotgun, and you've cleaned it, you've checked out everything that you have, springs and stuff like that, and everything seems to be okay, and you're having issues, it could be just the fact that your loads are too light. If you're shooting like 1 ounce loads, or I mean, maybe the 1 1/8 ounce could be enough to not make it operate. I hadn't run into that yet, but that's pretty much where we will leave the video off at. I just wanted to show the blind bag that I had, tell you what I had inside of it. Might give you some ideas to think about whenever you're putting your own bag together, and that's pretty much it. So if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, share it. We're trying to get this channel started, so if we get this channel started, then maybe I can get some more input on what you would like to see, different opinions you might want to ask me about, and then just kind of maybe free me up to be able to do other things too. So, but thanks for tuning in.